Hi, and welcome to Design Space Friday. Sorry that I missed the last week. We had a freak snowstorm, and things kind of got a little bit crazy here, but it was cool having snow in Alabama. So today we are going to do this overlay. I saw something similar to this on Pinterest, and I thought, oh, this would be way cool. Now, this is going to be a true 12 by 12, and I'll show you at the end how to make it a true 12 by 12 when you get ready to cut it out. But I am going to slide this over to the side, and we are going to bring in, of course, we're going to bring in a square. We are going to make it black just for the purposes of making it easier to see. We are going to make it 12 because we want it to be a true 12 by 12. And then, of course, we're going to put it at 1 and 1. All right. And I am working with it at 50% to help you be able to see it better. So the next thing we're going to bring in is a circle, and we are going to make it white just so it's easier to see. And we are going to move it over here, and we are going to bring in a square, and that's what we're going to use to slice on the circle. Now we'll bring the circle back over here, and I think we're going to want it at 11. Let's see how that fits in our square. Kind of play with it a little bit, and let's shift and let's align and center. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I believe on the other one that I did, I made it a little bit smaller, but I'm going to try it larger and just kind of get a feel for it. Remember, when we cut, this is still going to stay in there. All right, now we're going to bring in the square, and since it's centered, it looks like about 7 would be the center because it was because we centered it on that 12. And it's 7 because it's at the 1 inch, so you always have to make sure you add that inch. So now we have that, and we only want this gray one, so I clicked on it first. You can see over here which ones I have selected, and then we're going to slice it in half, and then we're going to delete and delete and delete. So now we have a circle, half circle inside our square. So let's select the circle, and then let's select the square, and we'll slice again. Remember, you can only slice one image, 2 images. So we had to do that in pieces. And remember, when you're on the PC, it always leaves the slice piece out. So you always have to delete 2 pieces. Okay, so now we have the circle. And what we're going to want to do now is to bring in the photo wells. So we're going to start with a square, and we are going to unlock it. We're going to make it a rectangle, and I'm going to make it 3.75. We're going to make it 5.75 by 3.75. I don't want to go with the true 4 by 6 because I don't think it's going to fit in here. And I'm just going to eyeball it to where I think I want it at first, so then I can play with the numbers up here to get it even. So let us put it at 6. We'll get back over to where I had it, and let's put it at 2.5. Okay, that's just going to make it easier when we do the next step. Now let's duplicate that, because as you saw on the other one, there's another photo well right underneath it that sticks out a little bit further. So let us move it to, we did that one at 3 and 6. I'm sorry, we did the other one at 6 and 2.5. So let us put this one, let's try it at 5.5. And we want it to be 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to move it by hand a minute. We want it to be 1/4 of an inch over this, so that this will become the frame when we slice it out. So let's put it at 6, right? and 5.5. And I think that one's a little bit too far out. So let us move it from the 6. Let us move it to 6 point. Right. I like that better. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so these two are overlaid, and that works perfect. Now the next one is a very small piece. We're going to duplicate it. We are going to change it. We'll unlock this. We're going to change it to 2. And then again, we're going to want it to come in a little bit, but we're going to want it to overlap. All right. Let's try 6. And then let's try 9.5. That's perfect. Okay, so you can see it's going to overlap 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. So now we're going to select all of those. So let's grab them all. And you can tell that they've all been selected, and we're going to weld them. Before we do that, let us go ahead and duplicate one of these. I always forget that. That'll save me from having to bring another one in and make it. All right, now we've got them. Yep, we got the 4 items we needed, and this time we're going to weld. And then what we're going to do next, just to make it easier for me to see, I'm going to make these white, this one white, and we are going to just eyeball it. Let's arrange it to the front. I'm just going to eyeball it to where I want it to be, and we are going to change it now because we want it to be, don't forget to unlock those when you do that. All right. We want those to be a little bit smaller photo wells inside the 3.75, giving us 1/4 of an inch. So we're at, let's put this at 6.75. That works. And let's put this one at 2.75. Okay, so that should give us 1/4 of an inch here. And when we're done, it should give us, it's not. We're going to need to make that a little bit smaller for this first one. There we go. We want it to be even right here. So you can see that by doing it 3.25, that will make it even. All right, so what we're going to do is leave that one there and duplicate, and we're going to bring this one down. Now remember, we want it to be 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. So it's at 5.86. Let's put it at 5.75. And let's put it at 6. That's perfect. Perfect. Now let's duplicate again. And now this one, remember, that was only 2. So let's make it, let's unlock. Let's make it 1.75. All right, and let's just eyeball it. And again, we need to make it 1.5. Eyeball it. We want it to be even with that upper line. So let's put it at 6. Put 6.25. There we go. Perfect. So now you can see there's 1/4 of an inch between each of them. Now we have to slice each out. Remember, we have to do it one at a time because you can only have 2 images selected when you're doing a slice. So we will take that out, and we will take, so remember there's always 2, and we want to arrange and move it to the back. All right, and we want to select the next one and select the frame and delete the 2. Always have 2 when you're working with, we'll move it to the back, and we'll do the last one. All right, and then we're going to slice, and we're going to delete. Now you can eyeball all of them and not be as precise as I like to be. It's totally up to you. So now what we want to do is to frame out the middle ones. And the easiest way to do that is to bring in a square, unlock it, and we are going to make it into a line. And we want it to be 1/4 of an inch. That's good. And it doesn't really matter on the length at the moment because we will play with that. So let's put it, I think there would work. So we have it. Let's try 1.5 and 5. All right, that looks good. So then we can just drag it up. We'll check and make sure we get back to 2.5. It is. Okay. And then we can duplicate that because The cool thing is when you're welding, you can weld more than one. So again, we're going to come down here. We are going to unlock it because we want to be able to just make it shorter, not thinner. I'm going to keep it at the 0.25, and it did. All right, that looks good. So then we can just come in here, select it all, and hit weld. And there you go. Now what you're going to do is, if you're ready to print it, and I am just going to hide one of these, you would just send it. Oh, first thing, sorry. We're going to contour the outside. All right. So all you're going to see are the pieces that are on the inside. So when you click Make It, and it sends it to the mat, all you need to do here is to center this. Just eyeball it into the center of the cut line. And you'll see the cut lines are red. And I think we have it. That's it. All right. So all you have to do now is hit continue. And when it cuts, it's just going to cut these middle sections out exactly where you see them. So when you're done and you pull off the 12 by 12 sheet, the photo wells will be left out. And that gives you a full 12 by 12 overlay. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next Friday. Thank you.